See how to file TDS return using the department utility that is being provided. And in order to download the utility, you can Google TDS RPU and you will get the Protein website which is available. You can click on the Protein website link. Now there is a list of downloads. You can scroll down and here you can see from financial year 2007-8 onwards, this is the return preparation utility. You can click on the same and a zip folder will be downloaded containing the utility. Once you extract that utility, you can go into the folder and you can see many Java executable jar files being displayed. You can scroll down to the end. You can see there is TDS RPU 5.7, which is the application that you have to run. Now double click on the program and you will need Java to run. So you install Java if not, and then click on OK. The return preparation utility is now open. There is the first step is you have to select which type of return you are going to file. 24q is for salary and 26q is for other TDS. So today I am here to file 26q, so select on 26q, regular or correction. If you have already filed and you are going for a correction, select this option. You can also save and open from a already prepared file. Either here I am going to prepare a new one, so click on continue. Now this is the data entry page of the return utility is now prepared, is been shown. There is three tabs: forms, challans, and annexure details, which you have to fill. Now in the first tab, you have to fill the personal information like PAN number, the year which you are going to file, and the quarter for which you are filing the return. Type of deductor, there is list that is available. Now coming down, you can see the particulars of deductor or the employer. If you are an individual, both the deductor and the other authorized person, which is also shown down, is the same person. So you can enter your name itself, and in case of branch or division, which is a mandatory field, you can enter the self, and you can enter the other address. The other fields are just self-explanatory. Once you have entered the details in the form page, you can now come on to the challan page, where you have to enter the challans which you have paid during or for the quarter 2. If in my case I am filing for quarter 2, so you have to enter the details of the challan that is being filed. And before that, always try to save the file, because in case it gets dropped in midways, you won't have to enter the entire information again. In my case, I have now saved the whatever I have entered right now, and you can click on OK. Now going back to the entering challan, first you have to click on add rows. So if you are entering one single challan, enter one and press OK. Now one field will be added here you have to fill in the details as per the challan that is being paid by you. Now here I have filled all my details that are from the challan, and in case when you have to enter the date, you can double click and you can select the calendar, and you can proceed to the date which you have paid the challan. You can click on this and OK, and I have entered the challan number, amount, and other head on which I have paid. And now next is to, let me just save once more. Now I can proceed to annexure 1, the deductee details. In my case, there was only one person, and here the case was of a NRI land sale. So the payment is made after deducting 12.5 percentage. So there is only one seller, and say just like the adding challan, insert one row here, one against one challan. I'm going to the first challan that I have entered over there, I'm going to add one deductee. If there were two deductees against which I have paid the first challan, I will enter 2 here, so that 2 rows will be appearing. Now from the previous page, challan page, I have the challan number and other details are auto populated over here. And from this drop down, I have to select against which section I have paid the TDS. So in my case, it was a land sale by an NRI, so it is 195 section. So I have to scroll down and find the, in my case, 26q was not applicable because it was for section 193 and other sections, where 195 is 27q. So I have made a mistake in selecting the form, so I have to again draft the new form, because I have to select the return type over the first page. So I will the procedures are the same, but I have to select 27q in the first page. I have prepared a complete new form by copy pasting the details. Now the form is 27q. You can see I have followed the same procedure. Here I can see section under which payment. Here 195 is applying, so I will select 195, and I scroll to the right. I can see the amount being pre-filled from the challan page. Deductee reference number is not available. Latest, and now you can enter PAN of the deductee, name of the deductee. You have to enter the whatever details that is being self-explanatory being provided over here. Here you have to enter all the mandatory details, and they are, you have to enter the PAN, name of the person, then the date on which the payment is being credited. So the date on which the agreement to sell is being executed. When the registration is happening, we have to enter that date over here. The total consideration, including everything, it will be entered here. The TDS amount should be also entered here, and cess is also to be entered separately. So the total tax will come. Now here you can follow up date of deduction, or the date on which you have made the payment should be matching with this date. And if the seller has obtained lower deduction certificate, you have to enter the reason over here. There is also a deductee code. The deductee code refers to 2 means individual, 3 means, so it depends on the status. It is not being shown over here, but you can just scroll over here and you can see which code. The 2 is for individuals, and the rate will be all inclusive. So you have to add the basic tax plus the cess, total tax include, even if cess is added, add the cess also, then divided by the total sale consideration. That rate will be entered over here. Now you can scroll to the right, and the section under which deduction is made. Since here the sales section is for a normal sale of land, 112 is applicable, so I have selected gain under 112. You can scroll further right, and the one mandatory field is the country in which the person is residing. So in this case he was residing in UAE, so I have entered it over here. The rest of the fields are not mandatory, so you don't need to enter that. And at the far end there is a whether the deduct is opting out of new regime, so you can select by no, but the assessee can decide for himself. We just have to declare here no, yes, depending upon the knowledge that you have. The next step would be is to obtain the CSI file, Chellan Status Inquiry file, and for that you need to have a TDS login credential in the income tax e-filing portal, not your normal login with PAN number. You have to create a new one using your income tax TAN number, and once you log into that account, there is e-file, e-pay tax, and you can see there are various options, and you can select Chellan Status Inquiry option, and from this you have to select the period for which you have made the payment. Here I am selecting the entire last month. Now I am selecting filter payment, and I can see the Chellan which I have entered in the return over there, and download the Chellan file. Now you have to download the Chellan file. I am saving it over here as CSI file. I have saved the file. Now once you have entered all the details in the return in the form Chellan Annexure 1, and you also have downloaded the CSI file, you can create the file which you can upload into the department, the return file. When you can click on create file, now you can select the Chellan input file which you have downloaded right now. You can browse and select that file. I have selected that file. Error report, where the error report will be generated once this tool is being run. You can select a random location. You have to look into where this report is being generated to find which error is occurred while creating this file. You can select that. Console, this is not required. Now we can select validate, and if you are missing any information, see the error file is being generated, the error file will be automatically opened up. Here you can see invalid value, TVF invalid value has filed regular. So I have missed out entering one field over here, so I can go back to the return and find out which field I have selected has regular statement. No, I am not able to understand what the second error is, so I will try to create the file once more. The same procedure is being followed. I will select the CSI file. The error uploading path, I have selected the same place. Now I am going to validate it again. There is one more error that is occurred, and now the error is bank branch form code 24G receipt number, TDS deposit bank branch BSR code is mandatory. So I might have missed the mandatory branch code. I missed to add the BSR code over here, so I have done it again. Now I am again trying to create the file, and this time there is another error. TAN provided the name, however TAN as per master databases, so there is a difference in the name of the assessee. In my case, I had a space in the beginning of the assessee name. That's why there was a mismatch in the TAN database and the information which I have entered. So after that, when I clicked on the create file, it was created successfully. And in my folder, I can see these many files are being generated. 27 is a provisional receipt, and these are error files. These 27, these are error files which are being generated. And next step is to FVU. There is a validation process, and for that you need another utility, the FVU file. And in order to get this file validation utility FVU, you need to go back to the original site where you download the return preparation utility RPU. You can scroll down, there is file validation utility, and this utility gets updated frequently. So you have to ensure that you are using the latest one in order to proceed. And you can scroll down from 2010-11 onwards. You can see the version is 9.2. You can click on it. Just like the RPU that you used earlier, when you extract the FBU zip file, you will get this many executable jar files which are which will be run in Java. You can see this is the application that we are going to use, TDS standalone FBU 9.2. You have to double click to open, and here you can see TDS or TCS input file, Chellan input file, which is the CSI file that we have earlier downloaded. So this is the CSI file, error and statistical downloading part, documents. So I have selected the documents. It's fine. It's documents. The TDS or TCS input file name with path. This is the file that you have created using the RPU. You can browse, and in the folder you can see the text file 26QR2 text file. This is the TDS or TCS file. You can select that. Now you are going to validate the file. The file validated successfully. See users documents. Please submit .fu in pen drive or CD, or you can upload it in the income tax portal itself. So it is being generated in documents. In the FU or the file validation utility, these were the 4 files that were generated after running the FVU utility, and this is the return which you are going to upload. And in order to upload, you have to create a new folder. You have to copy this into that folder, and you have to compress the folder, compress to zip file. You can name it as TDS return or any other name which you can. Now the last step is to upload the folder, compressed folder, that is the return file that you have to upload in the TDS login page. So you can log into using your TAN number into the income tax e-filing portal, and you can scroll down. You can select e-file income tax, file income tax form, and under this you can scroll down and you can scroll to the end of the page, click on next button, and here you can see deduction of tax at source TDS. Now you can click on file now. Let's get started. Select the form. You can select 27Q. This was the form which I have prepared. Financial year quarter. So the financial year is 25-26. Quarter is quarter 2. Regular file. Now the zip folder is to be attached over here. This is the zip folder. Open it over here. No other file except FU is allowed in the. There seems to be some error. Let me check. By mistake I compressed the wrong file. It was this file that needs to be compressed. So compress to zip file 26QRQ, that is the name being given. Okay, I have saved it over there. Now coming back, I will select the correct file now. It is being selected. This validated properly. Now we have to proceed to e-verification. Now the verification part is common, just like our normal income tax return. You can e-verify. Once I have filed the form, I can go back to e-file, income tax view filed forms, and there is this one form which I have filed now, and I can see that the status is now accepted at e-filing. So that is the final status, and in order to proceed further, you have to go into the traces to see the status or to download the TDS certificate. So that's the end of this thing. And